Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all. In this video, we're going to learn how to do an abaya illustration. So the abaya is a Muslim wear. So here is the material that I have used in the drawing of this abaya. It's my Faber-Castell pencil, my pilot pen. It's a ballpoint pen of 0.7. 0.7 is the size of the nib, and I have used a simple A4 size paper. I have already drawn the pattern onto this paper, the pattern that I want to illustrate. And once you're done with that, you are going to use your violet pen and start off with your outlining. That will be your final outlining, and the pencil outlining are going to be erased out later once I'm done with my outlining with this black pen. So abaya in itself is mostly a black garment. It can be a colored garment as well, but this particular abaya is of black color. The basic color is black, and the diamond shapes here are going to be appliqued. Applique is a kind of a handwork that will be done on the patches, on these patches. The patches are going to be colored ones and then later going to be attached. So my piece of illustration here is for my production. Production is going to happen in the place where I work. I work for. So once you're done with your outlinings, erasing all your pencil marks, start off with your shadings using your black color pencil. I prefer shading. Yeah. I don't just color out my illustration. I try to shade it as much as good I could. The shading enhances out your patterns, gives a better 3D look to your garment. It brings out of the paper. It brings the pattern out of the paper rather than making it look just a piece of design on the paper. So yeah, the shading is very important in illustration. Shading is where you can show what the flows and your patterns and your designs. It's a basic thing that comes in every illustration. Yeah, maybe a few may not have your shading part. Most of your illustration will consist of shading. So make sure you shade it appropriately wherever it is necessary, and where it is not. Darkening the places you want it to be darkened, you think should be in a darker shade, and leaving those places lighter which you think it should be. And shading is done to show the flow of your garment, to show the fall of the light coming towards over your garment, and to enhance your pattern. My illustration videos are not for beginners for sure, but those who have the quality of illustration can enhance their skill. I know there are many better illustrators out there, still this can help a few. So those are my shadings in the black. So once I'm done with the sleeve, I'll be moving on to the next color. So that will be my last sleeve shading. So the shading with my black is done, and I moved on to using a brown color now on the side panel that's coming towards my other side of the nabaya, starting from the waist area till the lower end of my foot, the foot of the nabaya. Yeah, the shading part is not as much as I have done it with black on the abaya. The shaded, it's been a little darker shaded than the blacker part. The brown color that I'm using here is the darkest shade that I had with me. I wanted it to be the darkest brown that could be available, and that's the darkest shade that I had, and I'm just coloring off, and I'm not shading with a brown pencil here. It's more like a coloring. So you can see it over here, the bit of shadings in the corners. So once I'm done with my shading of the panel, I'm moving on to my patch. I wanted it to be in a purple shade, but I had this bluish color, bluish purple color. So I'm doing the basic base for my handwork pattern. So once I'm done with my coloring with this pencil, I'm going to use my glitter gel pen. That's a purple color to enhance out the designs here. Gel pens are good when you are thinking about getting handwork done. Handworks are usually done using beads, flat sequences, cube beads, and lots of geometrical shaped beads that are available. So they are mostly shiny, glossy, glittery stuff. So to show these effects on my pattern illustration, I use glitter pens. So when you're illustrating and you don't want the shiny kind of a thing on your garment, you can use any other normal colored pen that you have or any other sketch pens. Coptic pens are used in illustration, but I do not use them because my illustrations are very basic and not very colorful. Mostly a bit of colors that I try to put onto these black abayas here and there, and sometimes colored abayas. So I'm using my black pen to enhance out the silver shaded that I used, which isn't almost visible, which is not visible on this. I'm just trying to enhance it out, and that will be my final touch. So my coloring is done. Once I'm done with my coloring, I try to mention it out, the details, name it, and then detail it. That helps in production. When a particular design is going for a production, the team should know, okay, what is this pattern and what are the things that they are going to use in this production. Um, you can add the switches to your illustration or to another paper and pin it together. Swatches of material that's going to be used in. But I'm not using the swatches here because I'm going to directly go to this unit, the production unit, and instruct them and onto what exactly is this pattern going to be of, and what are the material that they are going to be using in this making. So if you're away from your production unit, you better attach your swatches and the samples. So that will be my final finish and the detailings, and that's it. My garment is ready for production. So I hope you learned from this video. And that's the final abaya illustration, and hope you get to learn. Thank you.